Hey guys, and welcome to another Age of Empires 2 ranked audio commentary. And this will be a bit different to all my previous videos. In this video, I'm actually going to do an audio commentary of a 1 versus 1 ranked game, which will be the first one of these that I will have done. And so what I'm going to suggest here is that I'm going to give a bit of background information into the story behind how, like, when I initially started playing ranked online multiplayer, and how I've been playing mostly team games for about 3 years, and only recently in the last sort of month or so have I started doing 1 versus 1s again. So I'm going to talk about that for a few minutes. If you don't really care to listen to that part of the video, I'm going to edit in the description of the video the time that you can skip to if you just want to watch the game. So I'm going to talk for a few minutes here, and then I'm going to commentate the video. If you want to skip it, just check the description and click on the part where the game actually starts. Okay, so I started playing ranked Age of Empires 2 games in early 2020, and what inspired me to play ranked was I watched the original Red Bull Wololo tournament. And how I found out about that tournament is Microsoft were actually advertising the tournament inside the game. So at that time, I was just playing against the AI, and I think I was up to about I was good at beating the hard AI, but I struggled really hard against the hardest AI. And then I watched the Red Bull Wololo tournament, and I was really inspired by like, it was obviously a different format, so I played random map, and then the Red Bull Wololo tournament was Empire Wars, which you start in feudal age with 27 villages and a working economy, and the game basically starts, the aggression, the military, the fighting starts within like the first minute of the game, minute 30 even. And then I watched the tournament. I was very inspired by the player Mr. Yo, and he played a lot of like Meso civilizations in the tournament, Aztecs, Incas, Mayans, etc., and like very aggressive with like Eagle warriors and stuff. So I started playing that way against the AI, and then it turned out that with that early aggression, I was actually able to beat the hardest and extreme AI by like doing Eagle rushes and going early archers, and just, I could actually beat the computer. And I also figured out a way about how to defend against their archer rush and stuff. So after I'd beaten the AI a few times, the extreme AI, I thought, right, maybe I'm good enough to go and play ranked games. So I queued up for a ranked game, and I think my first game was, I picked Aztecs or Incas, can't remember exactly which one. I got a game against Franks. I think it was Arabia, but it could have been a different map, like a very similar map, and I won. I won in Castle Age. And then I played a few more games. I won like the open map sort of games, and then I got Arena, and then I did this really stupid Cuman, Ram, and Archer rush in Feudal Age on Arena. I won the first game with it because I denied a castle drop from a Chinese player, and then I failed my next two Arena games. Like, I got into their base, but the fast castle from the other player, they got knights out and stopped my rush. And then I think I ended up going 7-for-3 in my placement games, and then I made some mistakes in the games that I played after that. So I can't remember how many matches I ended up playing. I think I played 19 games, and I went 11-for-8. And then I lost a few times in the last few games that I played, and the losses really got to me. Like, I was really frustrated. I was just making mistakes, and out of all the ranked 1v1s that I played back then, when I made mistakes in the game, I got behind in, say, early feudal age, or like in feudal age, I was never able to come back. I was never able to recover from those mistakes, and that sort of, the feeling of disappointment and the stress. And I'm not very good at losing either. Like when I lose a game, it tends to affect me a little bit, and I just didn't have I don't know, I couldn't bring myself to play ranked 1v1 after just a few losses where I was just really frustrated at myself. So I ended up playing team games for 3 years, and there was a couple of times where there's a map that I really liked that was in the 1 versus 1 pool, and I queued up for ranked 1v1, but I chickened out after about 20 seconds just because there's less stress on you when you're playing with friends, because I play with friends that I speak to on Discord. So, you've got that. You're there with other people. You're not the only person there. And even though, when for the first game of the day, not everyone obviously is like this, your heart might start racing or something. But once you sort of, you get into it, you get a bit more relaxed. You don't have that sort of, I don't know, that stress or whatever that you sort of feel there. And, before you get a bit anxious or whatever. And that's something that for team games, I don't experience it as much, but for 1v1, I feel that I do. And I'd been playing team games for 3 years, and then there was a period a couple of weeks ago where there was I think one or two of the players in our group were away, and there weren't many games going on. And I wanted to play. I was feeling pretty good about how I was playing in the team games, and I wanted to play some games. I don't really enjoy queuing up solo ranked team games. So I saw that there was a map in the 1v1 pool that I quite liked, and I thought, well, I'll practice a few games against the AI and see how I'm feeling. So I did that, and then I felt confident enough to queue up for ranked, and played 3 games in a row, and I won all 3 of them, and that was good. And then I think maybe a few days later, I played another one because we just lost a couple of games in team games, so I was a bit frustrated. I wanted to get a win before I went to bed, so I played a 1v1 game. Didn't play very good, but I won it. And then a few weeks has gone by, and that's led me to this game here, where, again, we just lost a team game. I was a bit frustrated at the loss because we could have won it. We made some mistakes and did it, and then my friend went offline, and then I didn't want to finish the day on a loss, so I thought, I'll jump into a 1v1, see how I go. And in the 1v1 pool in this particular fortnight, the map that I wanted to play was Baltic, because it's a water map. It's not that open, and I'd practiced my start a couple of times with a couple of civilizations. I had a pretty good feeling about that, and then I queued up for ranked, and I ended up getting a different map that I hadn't practiced at all, and I had actually never played it before in 1 versus 1. So that's the game that I'm going to commentate here. So the map is Four Lakes. I have played it a few times before in team games. I did get it once in my 2020 ranked 1 versus 1, but the player that I played against disconnected within maybe the first 10 seconds of the game, so I didn't actually get to play the game. This is a map that I have watched the tournament equivalent of this map many times. So in T90 Titans League, there's a similar map called Cross. It has the 4 lakes in the corner, but the lakes have less fish, and the resource distribution of the golds and stones is quite a lot different to 4 lakes. So I've seen a lot of games on this style of map, and I've got a very good understanding of how to play it, but I've never actually practiced it before. So this is my attempt at attempting to do what I've seen other players do on this map. And I picked Japanese because that's a civilization that I feel I'm pretty comfortable with on hybrid maps, and it's got a very smooth and easy start. And it's also a civilization that I've seen played a lot on this map, so I know what to do. I've seen other people do it, and it's just up to me to be able to implement the strategy. And my opponents actually picked the same civilization, so this is going to be a mirror match. So I'm going to unpause the game now. All right, so first of all, you got to build your 2 houses, and then get your sheep in and queue your villagers onto sheep. Now this is a hybrid map, so the build order is going to be 6 on sheep, and then I'm going to go straight to wood, and I'm going to do 5 on wood, and then build a dock in the closest lake, and then put another villager on wood for 6 on wood, because I know that with 6 on wood, that is enough wood to constantly make houses and fishing ships, and I know that from playing Nomad. So I've used one of my sheeps over here to scout my lake. I found a couple of shorefish there already. Got 5 on wood with the 6 villager coming out. I'm just scouting the map. I've got 2 back boars. I've got back deer. I found one of my sets of extra sheep, possibly even my second one. I think I might have found them all already. 4, 5. Yep. Okay, found all my sheep. That's good. I'm going to go to my view lock now. So I always control group my scouts number 1, or my first control group. And then I just press 1 to select my scout when he's off screen when I need to. So yeah, 6 on sheep, going straight to the lumber camp, scouting around my map. Now, one of the points that I remember from T90 Titans League is that there's a trade-off on this map in particular, between pushing your deer and scouting your opponent. So I know that if I can, I want to get some early scouting in on my opponent to help me decide on what strategy that I want to go. So I've got a bit of scouting activity here, just need to scout a bit more. And I think I end up going, I push in at least one deer. I think it's a 3 deer spawn, and then I end up going and scouting my opponent. So I'm just looking around. That's my second wood line. It's quite far away from the TC, but I've got quite a nice wood line at the top there that's quite close. So I pulled in a boar quite early because I want to be going up quite fast to feudal age, because I know that in ranked 1 versus 1, a fast up time in open maps, and this is a hybrid map, but it's quite an open hybrid map, is generally the best thing to do. Like, I'm not going to be attempting a fast castle here. I think it's possible with some civilizations if you get like a good map. This one's quite open, as you can see. The whole front of my base, there's no trees at all, so there's no point at all attempting a fast castle. So there's my house and dock. I think I could have maybe built the dock a little bit faster than I did here, because but I think that this is also fine. Like, I could have gone there maybe 1 villager earlier. So I pushed in 1 deer. Now I'm going to go forward with my scout, and I'm going to try and see what my opponent's map is like. And I've got a very close deep fish there right next to my dock, so that's going to be quite efficient. Japanese fishing ships also work a little bit faster in Dark Age, so it's going to be pretty easy for me to get my food going. Now, after my first deerest push, I'm going to pull in my second boar. I'm going to try and go up around, I think, 19 or 20 villages. That's sort of where I'm aiming at, using the TC to shoot the boar. And then I'm going to take the deer and the boar. So I've got 1 villager on shawfish over there. I probably could have put a second one if I just wanted to get the food in a little bit faster, but I think what I'm doing at the moment is fine. Japanese lumber camps and mills cost half of the wood costs the other civilizations cost, so it is cheap for me to add the lumber camp and the mill. And unfortunately, I've mucked up the scout micro here, and my opponent's gotten a couple of hits on me. And unfortunately, the hill's even bigger, and there's a villager there as well, so I'm going to have to run away. I don't want to lose my scout here, and I've just gotten housed, so I'm going to queue up loom here. I think I get 1 villager after loom, and then click up to feudal age. So I was a bit distracted with the scout micro, and unfortunately I've gotten housed a little bit there. Not too much TC idle time though. And I probably could have built these houses at forward of the berries. So at the moment my berries are forward of my house line. So 17 villages, got the 18th coming up now. And I think I'm going to go up on 19 villages. So I should have enough food after this next villager. Do I end up cancelling a bill here or not? Do I go up at 20 villages maybe? Let's see. I've queued up another villager. So 19 villages. I can't remember exactly. Maybe I go up at 20 or 21. Oh no, there we go. I've cancelled the bill, and yeah, I'm going to go up on 20 villages. So I could have gone up a little bit faster here, but I still think 20 villages is fine. I built the mill because I know that it only costs 50 wood, so it's not going to take too much. I think I could have skipped the mill and gone maybe more fishing ships, but it's going to help me just get some good amount of food. And I think at this stage I found my opponent's TC spot there. I spotted his deer, and I saw his scout and his villager going for the dock over there as well. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to build a barracks, and I've decided that I'm going to build some militia. And I'm going to go forward on the right side of his base, and I'm going to see if I can find some damage over there. Just going to try and push in this deer here, but I think it goes back on me, which is quite frustrating. I was just a little bit slow on the micro to push the deer forward, and then the deer are being a bit uncooperative here. So I'm going to try and push this one in while I'm going up, building the barracks while I'm going up, and then I spot my opponent's scout has come forward and he has started attacking my barracks. That was probably an accident from him, and that means I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to move my scout forward now because I know that his scout is forward, so maybe I can send my scout forward and do some scouting in his base without getting attacked. So I should probably be moving my scout forward a little bit here. So I got my first militia out, getting my second one out, queuing up double bit axe, got another fishing ship coming out. My opponent's still in Dark Age, which is good. And one of my concerns is him coming forward on me to do an aggressive dock in my pond and then start building fire ships. So that's the reason why I'm sending that villager out to the right of my base. I'm queuing the militia forward at the moment. I'm sending them alone, which is not a good idea. Again, I got housed just temporarily there. So what I probably should have done is maybe waited until I had 2 militia to go forward and maybe even build a spearman to go with them. So I haven't really done this the best, but it is my first attempt. Like having said, I've never played this map. It's been a while since I've done a man-at-arms strategy. But I did do it recently on with the Romans in a team game, so it hasn't been that long. His scout is still forward. He's just he's probably looking to see what my opening is. He knows I've got a barracks there, but he hasn't seen an archery range, and I think his scout ends up missing this man-at-arms. I was a little bit worried about him seeing it, but I think he missed it. So I was like, okay, I should be right to go forward. And I'm walking around the other side of his base. There's his scout again. I'm going to chase that with the spearman. And now I'm going to start looking to make some farms. I've got queued up the man-at-arms upgrade, getting horse collar. And now I'm going to go in and see if I can find some damage. I've got a good amount of fishing ships here. My food count's looking quite good. And queuing up some extra villagers. Got 7 villagers on gold. I haven't really practiced like how many villagers I'm going to need on what. I'm just completely winging it here. And here we go. I found his gold mine. I'm going to start pressuring that. So I've got 1 man-at-arms coming in on one side. I'm going to send the other 2 on the other side. And I'm going to send my scout in to help them out as well. A little bit of idle villagers here. Just need to throw down some extra farms. I'm keeping my wood count quite low. He could have shot my my scout there with his villagers, but he hasn't noticed. So that was bad play by me. But I was lucky to get away with that. And I'm attacking both sides of his palisades on his gold. Japanese men-at-arms attack faster, so I'm definitely going to get in on one of these sides. He has not noticed or bothered to repair both sides currently, so I should be okay. And I think that was me queuing up an archery range. So I was a little bit poor with the micro on killing the villagers, but I've pushed him off gold, which means... So here's the first archer that's come out. I knew that like... Any player that sees man-at-arms is going to go archers, so I knew this was coming. And I think I preemptively started making an archery range because I know that if he's going to... Yes, I know I'm building a blacksmith. So now that I've seen an archer, I think I'm going to go straight into an archery range. He's got 2 archers out now. I'm going to see if I can get some damage on those. And there's the archery range. And I'm going to go into skirmishes. I've seen that I pretty much go castle age here after this building's built. I've got a very nice food count. I'm floating quite a bit of gold. I probably could have even bought the food, but I don't have a market at this stage, so can't really do that. Got housed again, which is pretty terrible. So I'm going to have to rush up another house. Bit of idle TC. I'm getting town watch instead. And I killed a villager on the berries and pushed him off berries, so that's going to hurt his food income. Building another house. And then here, I'm not looking, and he's pulled my men-at-arms into the TC, killed one of them. Which is not good. Got some free hits on my men-at-arms, so it was a bit sloppy by me. I should have probably pulled them back there. And I'm queuing up castle age, and I'm queuing up skirmishes and fletching. Skirmishes are the counter to the archers. And because he's pushing back my man-at-arms, he's probably going to come forward with the archers, but I'm going to have some skirmishes there to push them back. So unfortunately, apart from a bit of idle time and killing 1 villager, didn't get much. I got enough value to justify going man-at-arms. The strategy was definitely successful, but I was a bit wasteful with the micromanagement there. Just looking away at my economy, I think I should have maybe microed the men-at-arms back a little bit. So I'm just going to wall up this opening here, just so the archers can't come around the back of my base. And now I've got a second range, queuing up double range skirmishes, getting padded archer armor. I'm going to move those to the front of my base. Got a spearman there as well that I made earlier. Going to start throwing up some extra farms. Got a lot of villages on wood. I probably could have built an extra lumber camp here because the lumber camps are Japanese, quite cheap. And there we go. His forward archers have run straight into my skirmishes. And I'm going to go forward now because I know that he's got nothing to be able to push those back. And I'm going to get myself some map control coming into castle age. So we've got 8 on gold, 17 on food, most of those being fishing ships. And I'm going into a stable now because when I arrive in castle age, I want to make some knights. Because he, like, what's he going to do here against skirmishes? Is he going to try and go he could make some scout cavalry. So that's one thing that he could do. Another thing is he'll go up to castle age and get some siege out. So knights is the best thing to add here for me. So So I'm trying to go into his base and I see this palisade wall, the top here, single layer of palisade, no villages are nearby, so I'm going to see if I can get through there. Immediately queue up a knight and queue up Bowsaw, and the +1 armor for the knights. I want to get +2 armor. I'm going to bring the rest of my skirmishers forward. Now I haven't queued any skirmisher upgrades at this point because I want to see what he's doing. So I don't necessarily know if I need to upgrade them, because if he techs out of archers, the skirmishers are useless. So I want to see what happens. There we go. So I've seen the archers that he's got coming forward, but my skirmishers can beat those. Got the second knight coming out, the first one coming across the field now. And he hasn't made an attempt to try and house wall behind here, which he really should have. So now I've got the 10 skirmishers and the scout and a knight coming forward. I'm feeling pretty confident that I can break in here and put some pressure on him. I'm queuing up Bodkin Arrow now, and I'm going to bring 2 villages forward to build a forward siege workshop. Alright, so I'm through. He's killed my scout. I'm just going to pull back a bit with the knight, and I'm into his base. He's just reached castle age, so because he's still on archers, probably expecting the crossbowman upgrade to come in here. And it doesn't look like there's anything on the right side of his base. Go, see he's back on gold, and I should be able to put some pressure on that gold mine. Push him off gold once more. So that's going to slow down his archer ability to produce archers unless he's moved to the other gold mine. Getting housed again here. Been pretty bad at getting housed, and go the extra TC. There you go, he's got the crossbowman upgrade. I've got plenty of skirmishers though, so I'm pretty right here. And I'm getting wheelbarrow because I got housed. So I'm going to bring those 2 villages in to build a forward siege workshop on the hill. Just rushing in the wood from the wood line because I didn't have enough wood. Just making sure my villagers don't get sniped. A little bit sloppy there again. He got a free pick on the knights. I'm queuing up +2 armor on the skirms, and I think I'm going to look to get... I'm just floating a bit of gold there, so I bought some food. I'm going to get the elite skirmisher upgrade as well. So I just want to make sure that my villagers stay alive here. So I got a nice couple of kills there on the archers. And there's another one. And I'm going to send the knights in to push the archers back while I'm building the siege workshop. I don't want to lose too many though. And now I've queued up +2 armor as well. So I think I've got those skirmishers on stand ground possibly, because they're not moving forward. And yeah, so this is a part that I could have easily done better. The skirmishers have been targeting the villagers. I really should have been microing them to focus fire the archers, because I could have killed all the archers by now with the skirmishers, but my micro here is just a little bit sloppy. And again, they've retargeted the villagers. I think maybe because the villager is low health. Just looking away to look at my eco a little bit here. So even though I'm doing pretty poorly with the micro, I'm still winning. Keeping his crossbow numbers pretty low. I've got +2/+2 on the skirms. Got a scorpion out. I'm queuing up a mangonel. I'm probably going to bring some more knights in. I see that he's also docked to the lake on the other side of his base. So I'm going to build a dock there and get out some demos or some fireships. I've got the scorpion out. I get another kill on his archers, pushing his archers back, and then he GGs. So I was pretty happy with how I played there, except just that last couple of minutes at the end. There with the micro on the skirmishers, I just should have, I didn't control group them. I should have probably control grouped the skirms and focus fired the archers down a bit, but I think everything else that I did there was pretty good for a first attempt at playing this map. If I just go to look at the map here. So what my opponent's done is he's invested a lot into trying to wall off his base. Haven't really done, like, I'm, you know, I was being aggressive this game, so I know that I didn't really have to invest that much into walls. I was pretty exposed here on the wood line. Again, my next closest wood line is over here, which is pretty far from my TC, so I probably should have double lumber camped that. And the other thing that I probably could have done a bit better, I could have microed my man-at-arms a little bit better in the base, and just the micro here could have been a little bit better. Also, floating, I was floating, like, my resource balance. It wasn't great, but it was pretty okay. And I was pretty happy with how I played in this game. But again, like, my opponent was only 1151 elo or something like that. So this game put me up to 1225 elo. It's my 5th placement game, so that's the highest elo that I've ever been in 1 versus 1. I think I got to 1181 in 2020 before. So my feeling is I'm probably going to end up somewhere between 1300 to 1400 elo once I finish playing, because when I come up against players that are sort of 1300 Elo team game that like usually I can find that they give me a good game, but I can beat them most of the time. Like sometimes I get outplayed by players that are in the 1300s, and then I see players that when I lose a game that are in like high 1300s, low 1400s, 1v1 elo, I think sort of yeah, I could maybe I'm sort of around that level, maybe a bit less. So that's where I think I'm going to end up. And obviously this player is a couple hundred elo below that skill, so hopefully in my next few games I'll start to get some harder opponents. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully this was a little bit insightful on, if you've never played the Four Lakes map before, and just with a bit of background information on how I got into 1v1. So I'm probably looking to play some more 1v1s when the map pool changes on Wednesday, when African Clearing comes into the pool. It's one of my favourite maps, so I'll probably put up a few replays of that as well. Thanks for watching, guys, and look forward to the next one.